All right, so we have arrived here to my buddy Les's house. He owns a pretty sweet lawn company that's been around forever in this area. It's pretty cool because he likes all of his stuff green. He's always wearing green clothes and he likes green cars, and it's pretty cool. I've done a little bit of work on almost all of these. Mostly on that one over there. But yeah, he's got a pretty cool little collection here. Today, we need to replace the heater core on this truck. It's a big block 454. I believe it's like an 82 or 83 C10. He's got these old school Jesse James wheels on there. They look kind of cool. You know, I think it's got like some good lowering stuff on it. Yeah, like some good lower control arms and some decent stuff here and there. Also has that Phytech 4-barrel Phytech system on there. All I've done for him so far is just replace this switch right here. Had like a really old school one that wasn't rated high enough on the amperage. Kept it to where the fuel injection always has power. You know, it's the only thing that always has power for memory and whatnot, where this switch, he turns it off and it turns everything else off. And you know, that's how I had it before, you know, with the old switch. But as soon as I come replace this, you know, with another switch, didn't change, you know, the wiring on it at all. It was all like this already. Just put a new switch in here. And now he's confused because his radio resets every time, but it would have been doing that before. So maybe just something he didn't notice. You know how customers start noticing things after. This has the cool like surge tank setup on it. I wish my LS swap I should have done something like that instead of just a 450 in the tank. But anyway, so we're gonna get started. Pretty much have to pull the glove box out, which I think, yeah, I kind of have it out already. But so pull this out. I believe there's some vacuum lines to disconnect. We'll clean this area up, probably lay something down so we don't make a bigger mess than what was already here. Yeah, it was leaking down here. He said he noticed it was steaming up the windows, and so he was pretty suspect of the heater core already. But yeah, came over and verified his heater core is leaking. And I wasn't sure if this was like a factory AC truck or if someone had put conversion kit on here or something. So I just brought both heater cores, bought both of them. I'll use the one I need and I'll return the other one. I like to do it that way instead of having to make multiple parts store trips. And you know, I even bought new heater hoses in case these don't slip off there very well. But it looks like even if I have to cut it right there, there's a lot of extra length here, so it might be okay there and just be able to keep that heater hose for another project. But you know, don't ever fall for O'Reilly's when they try to sell you like a 6-foot piece for a certain price. Always buy it by the foot. You're gonna get it for way cheaper. I mean, what is this here? Oh, a little windy today. But I mean, for these heater hoses, like $7, $6, $3. If I was to buy like the 6-foot sections of these, this would have been probably 4 times as much. So just got a clean drain pan so we can try to keep his coolant, whatever comes out, keep it clean. And then we don't have to charge them for extra coolant. You know, I try to help customers out like that. So I bought a bottle in case we need to use it, and I think he has a bottle around here somewhere too. So we'll use up what he has, and if I have to crack open into my bottle, we'll do that. Yeah, here's the one he has right here. So we'll set this over here. But yeah, I'm gonna get it set up, and we'll start ripping this bad boy out. Alright, so the heater core is out now. Probably took me about like 20 to 25 minutes. It looks a lot more intimidating than it really is. There's some bolts from the inside, like I think 1 or 2 that come in from the inside, and then there's some studs that like hang out, and you have to get them from the outside. And it's like you get on the internet and people get all crazy saying they're like gonna pull the wheel well out or drill holes up in the wheel well here just so you can get to like a stud down here. But dude, use a wobble socket, get it done. It's not that hard. You just feel for them down there. And yeah, people are just wussies, I guess. So, and there's like, yeah, a stud here. This one actually broke. First one I even touched, and it just snapped right away, which kind of sucks. But you know, it has a few other ones holding it in. You know, to fix it, would have to, I guess, like replace this stud somehow. But I don't know. That's the kind of thing that we don't really need to spend that much time over something so stupid. Why do it, right? So now the main thing is this box has to come apart so we can replace this core, which seems to be a little project in itself, according to the internet. But you know, they were kind of wrong about how hard this box was to get out, or maybe there's harder ones. I don't know. But pretty much the main things I would say to note here is just make sure you know which vacuum line goes where. I think I disconnected like 3 of them, like 1, 2, and then yeah, 3 right here. And then on like the linkages and stuff, which I suppose is actually still on the box, you want to mark them before you pull them off. It's like this one, I guess. I didn't know if I really had to pull it off or not, but you can see I put little marks right here, just there and there, so that you know where to snap this back into, right? Because if not, you'll just be messing with it and whatnot. And there was one more little cable I marked something. Where did it go? Oh, this guy here. So where this guy goes, you can see there's like an adjustment on there. So I just marked it right there, just to rule anything out. And then I took this little plate off here. I don't know if you really have to. Made it easier to pull out. Kind of sucks, like this stuff kind of crumbled apart. I might try to duct tape some of it if I can. It's just, you know, I want to be able to line up these holes without trash getting in the way, because if you're trying to put that thing in and this is in the way, that's going to really suck. So looks like the evaporator is in pretty good shape. There's not a bunch of junk in here, no rat's nests. I mean, he keeps this thing in a garage. So anyway, yeah, so I will set up and we'll tear this thing apart and get that core replaced, and we'll figure out which one it actually is. It's most likely the factory AC one, so I'll look up which number that was, and then I'll open that box first just in case. But yeah, if it's not that, we're prepared. We have the other one, so all is well. All right. Got the heater core out here. You can see it definitely is like probably the original one. You can see all the leaking right down there. Got some weight to it compared to those aluminum ones. Bet you this is a good little, probably buy you lunch, take it to the scrapyard or something, you know what I mean? Buy you lunch for the day, so we'll hold on to that one. The box really was not that difficult. I think I might have torn into this when I didn't have to. The biggest thing is there's just some hidden, the reason I pulled this gasket up, but there's some hidden bolts, or I guess you could call them screws. But yeah, I can't remember. Oh yeah, like right down in here, this hole and this hole, you gotta like look down in there to see it. So I probably could have not torn this apart, but I just gotta pop these pins back in and put those screws back in. That's no big deal, but kind of just one of those things, if you've never done it before and you're too stubborn to look it up online like I am, you just go for it and know what to do next time. Sometimes that bites you in the ass, but other times it's kind of fun just to learn for yourself, and I guess just not reverse engineer, but just look at something and try to figure out how it works. I enjoy doing that and how it comes apart. And you know, if I get really struggling and feel like I might break something, of course I resort to maybe looking something up. But anyway, we're gonna pull out the AC heater core, well, the one that's supposed to be the AC option heater core, and make sure that's the right one. And if it is, we will clean up this and clean up, look at a small little puddle in here. We'll clean this stuff up, get this back together. I'll have to glue this back down. Probably just use like, I think I have like some little bit of silicone or something, whatever, just something sticky to hold that in there. Anything will work pretty much, as long as it's not like a stinky. You wouldn't want to use like a stinky silicone or glue or something, because it'll probably make the cab stink every time you turn the heat on. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to start getting this done. Just wanted to show that even this wasn't that hard. Probably took me, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Just, I don't know if some of the older guys just get intimidated and stuff, or, you know, oh, look at that, we better take care of that too. Or I don't know, some people just make things out to be way harder than they are, and I appreciate when it's not, but it kind of makes you, like, when you're going into the job, a little nervous, like, man, is this gonna be tough? Is this gonna be tough? And then you get through it, it's like, oh, that was really easy. What are they smoking? So all right, I'll get set up and we'll put this together. Alright, so as you can see, I'm struggling, which is ironic because I'm all talking shit. This is like wider right here. Let's see, look at how wide that is versus how wide this is. It's like this wants to hit on this little lip right here, and yeah, I cannot get it. I guess a better way to show you would be like this. You know, so I think I don't like it, but I'm just going to trim this out a little bit because I want it to sit all the way up to where this clamp sits nice and this clamp sits nice on it. And you know, kind of a bummer. I really don't like it, but what do you do? I doubt it's like just a manufacturing flaw. Like if I go get another one, it's going to be the same thing. I mean, I suppose I could open up the other one and see if it's different, but I don't think so. According to, like, looking at the pictures, the other one wouldn't fit at all. So yeah, I'm gonna figure out what to do with this and go from there, but kind of a bummer. Chinese parts, you know how it goes. It's like really close. Just like you can't get it far enough this way for this bracket to like sit nice. It doesn't, like, you know, it doesn't pinch it nice like right there. It's like kind of off. So just do a little bit of trimming, I think, and go from there. Okay, so upon inspection of the instructions, which, you know, who wants to do that? It says something about using longer screws if you have to for that bracket, but even then I still had to trim that piece. So I got that trimmed right up in there. As you can see, not ideal, but it didn't like spread a big crack or anything. I hate cutting stuff like that because it might just freaking send a big old crack down somewhere in like spider web, but it cut pretty good. It's still pretty soft for its age. But yeah, you can see you can't even set these things flush or it's gonna strip it. That clamp is under quite a bit of tension. It says in the instructions, use the factory clamps and stuff, just use longer screws. So what I did, I ran a short screw on one side and I stole a long screw from this pile of long screws, and I checked, and this is enough thread engagement for what it needs to do on just one of them. We're gonna put a short one in the place of a long one somewhere else. It'll be okay. Some people would freak out, oh my god, but no, it's okay, promise you. So big bummer. You know, I noticed this hose earlier, and you know, it's pretty much, you got to have the box apart to even replace it, because on this panel right here, this thing's mounted on there from the inside. So yeah, to get to this, you got to pull this little plug up right here. You know, sits right here. So you pull this plug out, and then you can get a nut driver or whatever you need. I just use a nut driver, got in here, and you know, this is adjustable too. But you can see, you know, there was a pretty good mark on where the like a circle mark of where it was. So I didn't bother reaching up in there with a Sharpie or anything. So pretty big bummer. Gonna have to go to the parts store. You know, this would be way too hard to change once it's all up in the truck. So this is the kind of stuff you're running into. And I'll get some good glue for the foam I'm going to put in. This one's pretty much just gone. I didn't even touch that one. So stuff like that, it's just going to have to be what it is, you know. But yeah, everything else, all the boxes move, or the flaps move in the box good and stuff. And you know, this one's spring loaded right here by this spring right here. Made sure that this actually does its thing. Kind of under tension right now, but it does pop in and out. I think I'm actually have it in the wrong. Might go to that one. It's probably that one. Well, no, because that wouldn't shut it, so it has to be the other one. So, yeah, because that would shut it right there. Yep. So, gonna have to run to the parts store, but you know that sucks. But it's like maybe 5 minutes away or something. Just when this kind of stuff happens, I try to think, okay, what else am I possibly gonna need? You know, I didn't know I was gonna need longer sheet metal screws, like they said. Didn't know I was gonna need some vacuum hose. You know, I got away without the screw. But you know, I try to like to kind of sit and think, all right, well, it's making one trip. I don't want to go again. What else could we possibly need to do? And I think everything else is pretty good. I have tape for this. I still need to do that. I'll tape that stuff up. What's nice about Les's place is, you know, I feel comfortable just leaving all this stuff here. He's got this gate right here, and it's a pretty good neighborhood out here. If this was middle of Ogden or something, I'd be having to pack all my stuff up just to go make a parts store trip. And that's the kind of stuff that sucks, is if you're just working on someone's stuff at like an apartment complex or something, you know, things can get a little sketchy. And I've already had all my tools stolen once. Maybe I'll tell that story. But working at one shop, yeah, had pretty much everything I owned stolen, and you know, all my Milwaukee stuff, and had to start over. It really sucked. It was a very hard point in my life, but got through it, and you know, just working for myself now. So all right, we are going to clean up a little bit. I'll text Les and say, hey man, I'll be back, and come back with some vacuum hose. I'll just take this. It'd be nice to have, oh yeah, right there. So I can't, you know, there's so many vacuum line sizes. I'll just go back there and eyeball it with this guy, and yeah, see if we can pick up a piece of hose. Probably going to be like 50 cents or something stupid. But anyway, all right, we are back. Got our vacuum line. Like I was saying, they tried pulling the, you know, making me buy it by like a 6-foot section for, you know, like 13 bucks or something stupid. I said, no, I want the bulk stuff. Walk me back there and let's check it out. And then, like I said, you have to pretty much make them. They're not going to do it for you. So walk back there. First hose I grabbed was the right one. So $1 for that. And we're going to get her together now. Alright, I got the air box back together, and I left this just a little bit long, and then I'll just cut it to length and then, you know, move this down. But better to have too much and then cut it when it's up in there. Should be able to do that pretty easy. So just use just what I had on hand. It doesn't stink, so put a couple little dabs down. That's going to hold that in place. It's going to seal it decent enough. We're not working with a Cadillac here. Yeah, you can see the trim job there. Worked pretty good. Fits good. You know, like I said, I had to use a short screw right here, but it engaged. I'm cool with it. It's in there, you know. So made sure that, yeah, this is closing. You know, all this works. You know, and if we need to mess with this a little bit and fine tune it for him, we can. But I'm hoping it was right when I pulled it apart, and hopefully it'll be right when I put it back in. So, all right, that is the box. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit more, maybe spray it down, wipe it off. You know, how often do you have this thing out? Do that for him. And then I realized with this whole broken stud situation, I'm just going to pop this off. Then it might be a two-person job, but you know, just someone run a bolt through here, someone on the other side, get it started. And you know, that's something that can be done like last. That can be done very last. So we might address that. You know, I was saying I would just leave it without the stud, but that is the top stud, you know, kind of what hangs it up. And you can see this is, it's like even bent. So it's had a rough life. Probably why or maybe it bent from when it twisted off from the ratchet. I don't know. I just, you know, clutch dropped the old Milwaukee M12 ratchet, and it did it. So, all right, I'm gonna set up, and we're gonna get this thing back in the truck. Also need to tape up that insulation stuff real quick. So, okie dokie. I got it in. It was a little more of a struggle getting it in than now, I'll be honest. So for this, you know, I actually really did want to do something right now with this, and because it's really the main thing that holds the whole thing up. So I found what I had on hand was a battery terminal. So I used the you know, pretty much, you know, those universal battery terminals have that 13 mil or half-inch nut, and square, I don't know if you can see it up in there, kind of trying to get the right light, there it goes. One of those square pretty much bolts, stuffed it through this side, and I had enough. It was poking out this side, and I kind of just tightened it up. I didn't have to, like, you know, vice grip it inside or anything. It didn't really turn. It tightened up nice, and I guess I can even pop that little guy on there. I'll try. I'll throw a socket right there and give it a smack or something. But yeah, so it's all in. Hoses are sticking out now. You know, there's supposed to be kind of like an insulation material right here. I'll see if we can maybe silicone a little bit or something. I don't want to get sloppy with it, but if we can, I mean, don't want to be way ghetto, but even if you just stuff something in there, you know, it would help better than nothing. So, and you want to make sure these aren't really like rubbing on the holes right there. So like, so you can manipulate them a little bit. You want to be careful. But yeah, see, now they're nice and centered. They're not going to rub. So I got to slip the hoses back on, and then we're going to fill it up with coolant, crank the battery on, and fire this bad boy up and see if we can get it warm. And then we'll start checking that, all the blend doors actually work, and, like, you know, it gets hot and cold, or, you know, I don't know if the AC works on this truck. We'll try it, but I want to make sure the blend doors are adjusted right and stuff before I go throwing this glove box back on. There's also some little, these kind of like hold the vacuum lines in the back. I'm going to stick those on real quick too. Kind of forgot about them until I just noticed them sitting there. Honestly, everything's up in here pretty good. Like, nothing's chafing, nothing, you know, I don't think it really needs them, but I'll stick them back up in there. This light, I don't know if it's like a glove box light or an ashtray light. It's burnt out. You know, I don't really know where it came from, and I don't have the hardware to screw it into wherever it did screw in. So that was kind of a previous guy. I may just kind of stuff it up in there again, to be honest. You know, I don't think Les really cares too much. I'm not happy with, you know, some of the, if you look, I don't know if you can even see up in here, but, you know, some of like how this is broken right here. There, now you can kind of see it. You know, there's like some of these vents, and like, see how this doesn't, I don't know, everything's just, someone's been in here, and, you know, once these things have kind of got hot and cold so many times at the shape they've been, there's really not much you can do. And so we'll just make sure that there's enough airflow coming out of the defrost vents and these vents. If not, we'll see, you know, we'll try to seal this up better and stuff. And, you know, there was a hole in this, so just some duct tape. I mean, it is duct work, so duct tape makes sense to me. This hole that he just had like a grabber screw in it, it didn't want to be tight anymore, so I just drilled a new hole a little further back. This was slotted. I don't even think this thing works anymore. I feel like it's more like just nostalgia of it being there. I'm not sure if it's like a CB radio or, I mean, it says on the back, it just says Citizen Band Radio. I guess I'm not old enough to even know what that means or what it was for. But yeah, so got her in there. I feel good about it. Gonna continue and see if we can get this thing done and get out of here. He mentioned he does want me to wire up hardwire the stereo so that when he turns this switch off, it's not resetting the stereo. But I told him if I have enough time and energy, we'll do that today. But you know, it's kind of not the perfect weather outside today. We'll just see. We'll see how much longer this goes. If it goes really smooth and I'm feeling up for it, I'll fix that for him too. But I told him I couldn't promise him that. That wasn't on the schedule for today. And you know, it is what it is. May have to put it on the schedule, come back another time and hardwire his stereo, and maybe we'll find something else that it's just worth it to come back and do both of those things at the same time. So yeah, I'm going to. And you know what, actually I do need to get the one really hard stud. You got to get a nut on this stud down here, and I got to tighten that down, but I got all the other ones tight. You know, there's like one from the inside about here. There's the one that, you know, I used the battery thing for, and then one down there that I already tightened up. So just got to get that done. That's probably, I guess I kept it for last because it's probably the hardest part. And like I said, that's the part that people are talking about, like, you know, removing the whole wheel well out or drilling a hole or something because they can't get in there. But I'll get it. I'll get it. All right. So I got her all done. It took me longer than I thought. Well, actually, I let the battery charge while I was doing something else. This battery was dead, and you know, we had the switch off the entire time I was gone, and I checked to make sure that the fuel injection system wasn't drawing too much. You know, I can't remember what the spec is. It's like 80 milliamps is like the max you want to see a car for, like parasitic draw. So I know it wasn't drawing too much sitting here. While I was waiting for the battery to charge, he wanted me to hardwire the stereo for him so that, you know, he can turn this bad boy off. The stereo keeps the channels and the clock and all that. The fuel injection is going to keep its memory, but everything else is going to get turned off. I'm not sure if there's even a draw. I could check to see if there's another draw when it's off, but this is just how he had it already set up and how he liked it. So I made that better for him, but I added a fuse here. I did check how much the radio draws. It was drawing like 5 amps cranked all the way up. So I just threw a 10 amp fuse in there. Figured that should be good. So yeah, both circuits that are on all the time are fused, and I just ran it. I ran a black wire. It's what I had, and it looks better anyway. I mean, you have to be an idiot to go thinking it's a ground and cutting it or something. I don't know. Not that big of a deal. It just looks a lot better. Got it ran up here and all the way over, and I just found the dash, under the dash I found the wire, the constant power wire, and just shoved it through, hooked it up, used good like heat shrink and all that, zip tied everything. I like to flush cut my zip ties. You know, a lot of people don't do that, but see, you can go in here and you're not going to get cut on these things. You know, that's what separates the idiots from, I don't know, people that care a little more. But yeah, glove box is in. There's no leaks. We got good heat. We got good airflow. When you turn the defrost on, it comes out good up here. The AC even works. It's a little low. The compressor's cycling on and off a little bit. But yeah, got that done for him. You know, main thing we were here for was that heater core was leaking, and that's taken care of. We got a little bonus of the radio hardwire. I'm not going to charge him a ton for that. You know, I know he's going to call me back as soon as he needs something else, and that's what's kind of good. Some of these customers, you know, if you treat them right, they're going to recommend you to everybody else, and it's worth it sometimes just to do a little thing. Like, I was waiting for the battery to charge anyway. Not that big of a deal, you know. So he's usually pretty good and throws me a little extra anyway. But yeah, so now he can set the clock on this. It's not going to change. I made sure that it does flip hot to cold. All these work. AC compressor kicks on with defrost, how it's supposed to. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked on the job. Hopefully he is too. He says this thing's pretty peppy. Sounds pretty dang good. Oh yeah, she sounds real good. So I think he wants to take me for a ride in this thing, because he says out of all his little toys around here, this one seems to be the one that's got the oomph. This one's just like a small block. I don't remember if it's a 305, 327, 350. I'm not sure. But this is like all like an old Firebird chassis or something that this is all sitting on. You can see it's like the Firebird wheels and stuff and side pipes. This one's loud. This one's real loud, but he likes to drive it around. It's pretty cool. Got that clear coat over the patina, and he's got this Lawn World graphic on it. You know, he likes to hit up the car shows and stuff. You can see this thing blows a little bit of stuff when he fires it up. This one I actually I wired in some power windows for him. You know, he had the window regulars were in here and everything. There were just no switches, and I was gonna mount 2 switches here so that driver could like do both of them, I guess you could say. But this dash is just so cool. I couldn't drill a hole in this thing, man. I know it's like ratty and stuff, but I don't know, it just worked out better to run a single switch. And honestly, if you're sitting in here and you want to just lean over, it's not that bad. This isn't really wide like a lot of other stuff is. But I've noticed every time I get into this thing, you know, like this park thing just is sticking down. He doesn't put it all the way up, but it doesn't, you fire it up and it doesn't roll on you or anything. But yeah, this is a pretty cool little one to drive around. It's actually pretty fun. It's got like 4-wheel disc brakes and everything. Probably adjust that for him a little bit. I'm sure he knows. But yeah, you can see like this is someone else's work here, right? This is everyone else. There's me. This is the power window setup I made. You know, it's fused. It's got a relay for only coming on with the key. You know, good fused here. So yeah, like pretty much a fuse to run up to this block. I think it's just what I had that day. I know it's not really ideal to run like 2 fuses, but I think I kind of overdid this one just in case somewhere in the line, you know, there was a short. But it works. Just looks a lot cleaner than the other people. You know, and this works too. And I'm not, you know, I'm all about get it running, not right. But you know, if you're gonna pay someone, I think you should get a little bit better quality, you know. But anyway, I think Les and I are gonna go for a cruise in this thing, and that's a wrap on this job. I'm gonna load up and then get paid, move on to the next one. Pretty fun working on this old stuff sometimes.